So the last question was, from where you are now, how do you see yourself growing? Like, how are you going to spread your wings even further, and what's your next step, and how will you achieve that with like marketing tactics and things like that?
Yes. So yoga and meditation are a part of the solution. There's no other way to put it. Whatever your issues are, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, yoga and meditation will help you with your issues. Period. Whoever you are. Now, I know this. I've had it. I've had this personal experience. I have to spread it, and so I have to find, effective ways of doing that. So there's some books coming up. There's some DVDs coming up. Very excited about this. There's a lot of lectures coming up. So the idea is get out in the world and speak to people, yes. Teach people, yes. But do it in a way where you're giving people tools that they can really take those tools into their daily life, where they can then, a year down the road, you come back to a town where you were speaking or teaching, and those people are like, I've been practicing every day for 365 days. Or I've been practicing twice a week for the last year. Thank you. You inspired me in that way. Because I know that's going to make a huge difference in someone's life. And that's all we're here to do. And so if we can just affect a few people, we change the world literally in that way.
Okay.
And so we if we're really blessed, we get to put out a bestseller, and that reaches really far, and that can inspire people to get on the mat, develop a meditation practice. I mean, I'm coming from terrible drug addiction. Like, that's what's in my background for me. And there are people that recover from that at varying degrees. And there are very few people in the world that recover from that where they feel 100% excited about who they are as a human being. And they've truly recovered their sense of self. And that's the recovery that I'm interested in giving people. Whether they're a drug addict or alcoholic, or they struggle with sex or food or money, or the ways that we human beings struggle, even if they're not struggling in big ways like that, they still deal with what I call the 4 aggravations, which is self-doubt, procrastination, resentment, and negative thinking. And every human being is dealing with those. So when you get into your center every morning on your mat in your practice, that's a way to get yourself on point and to go out into the day to be the best version of you possible. So I want to spread that message to as many people as I can, however I possibly can.
Okay. So have you found that one way works really well? Like, is it just, apart from being consistent and confident and, having your niche, is there is there a kind of physical tool that people can, social media, e-newsletters, just showing up to small towns? Like, is there a kind of one tool?
Sure. Okay.
Or does it just happen organically because of the time that you put in and because you're consistent and because, what you're saying resonates with a lot of people?
To an extent, if you keep showing up teaching and you're affecting people, someone someday is going to come to you and say, hey, have you ever thought about writing a book? Or, hey, I've got a TV show. Maybe you come on that show someday. Or like you, asking me to come and speak to you with your blog. Like, I'm grateful for that. If I wasn't here in this festival and if I wasn't out in the world teaching, you wouldn't have asked me to do that. So opportunities present themselves, but yes, social networking, critical. If you're not, seriously, as a yoga teacher, if you're not on Facebook and Twitter, I'm sorry to tell you that you're missing something very important in terms of getting yourself out in the world.
A lot of yoga teachers are against it.
You can be against lots of things and at the same time recognize the value. So I'm against somebody wasting their life on the internet, and that's an addiction in and of itself.
Yep.
I spend a lot of time marketing, and people who help me spend a lot of time marketing something that I'm offering. That's how we get the word out. So it works for me.
Okay.
And it's also something to be worth looking at. Like, is this becoming too much? Am I out of balance as a yoga teacher? But am I against Facebook? Of course not. It's an incredible tool. My God, it's an incredible tool for connecting with people.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, good for Mark Zuckerberg, you know?
Yep.
Fantastic.
So, for those poor sods that don't know you, will you tell us who Tommy Rosen is?
Absolutely. So my name is Tommy Rosen. I teach yoga on the west side of Los Angeles, particularly in Santa Monica and Venice. And in particular, I teach yoga and meditation to people who are recovering from addictions of all kinds. And that's basically everybody on the planet in some way, shape, or form. And so we're here at the Wanderlust Festival. I'm honored to be able to teach some of this stuff to people who are struggling with those issues and just people in general. And it's a lovely pleasure to be here with my Yoga Avenue.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I've read a lot about your path to become a teacher, but once you kind of went through your training, how did you get your start getting students and kind of like launching your career in
Yes.
yoga?
So I teach in Greater Los Angeles, and because of that, I teach in one of the most competitive environments for a teacher to teach in. And so luckily, I come from a background in marketing, and so actually, I run marketing seminars for yoga teachers.
Oh, okay.
So I talk to yoga teachers a lot about what they can do to differentiate themselves in a very busy, competitive space.
Yep.
But what I did in particular, anybody who asks me like, all right, what can I do to be a successful teacher and to begin to get the word out about me and what I'm doing, tell everybody, the first thing is really hone in on what's unique about you, because every one of us is unique, and yes, we all might have been trained in a particular kind of yoga, but we all have our particular perspective and our particular experience, and to bring that in an authentic way to people is the first way that you can, number one, identify your authentic voice,
Yep.
and also be able to, from a marketing sense, be able to get somebody interested in what it is you have to offer.
Okay. I guess so. That kind of covers my next question, which was, you've found this niche, as we say in Australia, not
Yes.
niche,
Right.
but you found this niche, and it really helps people and resonates with you. And I saw on your site that it's something that you've got a background in. And so, would you say that becoming recognised in a niche really helps teachers kind of market their skills and become recognised in their community?
Yes. So the niche you're talking about for me is recovery
Yes.
from addiction.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So, yes, if you can find a niche, a unique quality or a unique experience that you've had, maybe something even challenging you've come through where you could help someone else to come through a similar challenge, that is certainly going to be of interest to people out there. And I like to say that any good offering solves a problem for somebody. So rather than thinking about, okay, what's the opportunity, it's more like, well, what's the problem that I want to fix? What's the problem that I can fix? What problems have I fixed in my own life that other people might struggle with,
Yep.
that I can fix for them as well, or help them to guide them to fix? That really helps a lot. And so, yes, to have a niche, as you say in Australia, is a great thing to have, and that is it's very important for anyone to sort of figure out what theirs is.
Yeah.